Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti. You're watching Living Our Ascension, and I know that it's been really long since I've made a video, and the reason is that I was going through this intense detox process that I've spoken about in previous videos, and suddenly I was just guided to, I didn't feel like I had the energy, like my energy needed to be somewhere else, and that's why I stopped making my everyday videos for a while, but hopefully I should be coming back soon when I'm guided, because I like to be receive like the nod from spirit, and then that's when I like to begin. But definitely I'm doing a lot better and there's important developments that are happening in our ascension process. So meanwhile, I just wanted to make a video about that, because a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me, especially through my personal services. And after I did especially some soul portraits that I did recently, lots of these pure ones have been connecting to me, and after I do the portraits, usually there's a lot of questions that they have about what they're going through, and all of these revelations that come about. So I thought I'd make this video today to speak about some of the frequently asked questions and generally what is happening now. So if you'd like to watch that, then just stay tuned. So the very first thing is that someone recently asked me about these intense headaches that they're going through, and they found out when I did their soul portrait, it came out as like a starseed energy, and they were really happy to hear that, because they didn't believe it of themselves at before this confirmation came. And then they were asking about these ascension symptoms, because then they realized that they are on the ascension timeline, that's what's actually happening, I think. And so they had some questions about this process, and they were talking about how they have these intense headaches that happen, and they were asking if these are just ascension symptoms or whether they should do something about it, see a doctor. And I thought that this was an important question, especially because I spoke about this in some previous videos recently, that sometimes we can put a lot of things that we're experiencing, we can just say that these are ascension symptoms. And a lot of times when we get on the ascension timeline, these are ascension symptoms. But the thing is that the body also goes through a detox process, so they often kind of happen together, these ascension symptoms and the detox process. So the body is going through a lot. When the ascension timeline kicks in, you start vibrating at a high frequency, and when you become like this higher frequency vortex, then everything that is not of the light, or that is of the old and not serving you any longer, it might not be something negative, but it's just that it needs to be upgraded, or it needs to show up in another form. So everything starts getting pushed out. So naturally, at a physical level too, our bodies will begin to detox in some way, begin to release things. So whether that happens through different conditions that show up in the body, or any discomforts, we have to address it for what it is. So my suggestion would be, that I understand, because I've been in the same boat, that I didn't trust doctors before, and years ago, like 5-6 years ago, when I was going through this process more intensely, when it was just beginning, this getting on the ascension timeline, then going to a doctor didn't seem like the thing that I wanted to do, because they usually are conventional doctors. They just hand you a medicine, and the medicines, they just suppress the symptoms, and they don't actually get to the root cause. So I went through that process completely alone. Like I was going through some very intense things that actually came back this time around, and that's the detox that I'm going through now. And what I realized is that I was sitting in my room alone and going through this intense process in my heart and with my digestion and all of that, and I had no idea what these aches were, and I was just dealing with it all alone, thinking that it's just ascension symptoms. And yes, Ascension was causing this to happen, because when you get on a higher frequency, then your body is more sensitive than, let's say everybody else. And any impurities that are in there or that you put in there will no longer be, accepted. So, so it's really important, I would say, to, if you're feeling, especially heavy discomforts, like something that stays, because Ascension symptoms have a way of coming and going, like I've spoken about in a previous video, and I'll link that video down below. It's specifically about Ascension symptoms and how to identify whether what you are going through is an Ascension symptom or an illness. But even when we are going through Ascension symptoms, they will come and go, and they'll have like this burning effect, but they don't typically tend to last very long. They don't have they're not sustained. Whereas an illness is something, that we have, over a period of time, we've manifested it, so it kind of has a way of staying in the body unless we then do something about it. So, if you're experiencing especially, some severe aches, because that's the word that they use, that they're having severe headaches, then it's a good idea to go to the doctor anyway, and you can always find, my suggestion would be to find a doctor that is holistic, that has like this focus on holistic type of healing, so that they can give you the right kind of diagnosis and treatment for it. And even if you don't have access to that and you just end up going to a doctor, it's good to be safe and just to get things checked, because yeah, that's, it's important for your health. And don't worry, because even if, let's say, you're diagnosed with something, but if you're on the Ascension timeline, it's just, it's not something that you're going to stay in. If you take the right actions and you make the right changes, it's not like a resident state, that you're always going to have this. It's moving through. Remember, all that is of the old is just moving through and passing through the body. We are releasing it, but we are not it. So don't identify with what is leaving. That's what's most important, and it's always best to see a specialist, just to, be sure. And yeah, that would be my recommendation for it. Then the second thing I want to speak about is, I really wanted to, I want to send all of my love to all of you out there who have been connecting with me recently, especially because, so many of you did. And after I connected with all of these people, these really pure beings, they really gave me these fabulous reviews and comments and shared about their life as well, what's been happening for them personally. So I'm really, so happy to connect with this. And you are the reason, that I feel like doing this work that I do. And it really helps, because a lot of the time when we make videos, we're just sitting alone and making it, and it's going out there, but you don't get to see who is receiving it. And it's nice to have that communication back. So I'm, so happy to connect with all of you as well, and just, it fills me with so much hope and enthusiasm, because I see that I attract this specific exact type of people, that the energy that I'm putting out there, that has this purity and has this level of coreness. The beings that are then attracted to my services, especially, that connect with me on a more personal level, also tend to be that way. So it's really nice to connect this way. But what I wanted to share was that, there are some common themes that when I connect with these pure ones, they usually, whenever I make a soul portrait, because that's what I've been doing a lot recently, so that's why I'm speaking about it more. But when I was doing these soul portraits, these higher codes come through in these soul portraits about what we are at a soul level. And whenever I've noticed that whenever these beings, they see what they are, like the reflection, in the portrait and the poem that I write, because they're these pure codes, often, they don't feel worthy. And this is all of us. We all can feel this way, just like when light comes to us, or, when we get to see the beauty of creation, and it blesses us in some way, or, tells us, communicates to us that we are just as beautiful. Often we don't at first believe it, So, but the thing is that many of the things that you're going through, of, the things that you think that are not perfect within yourself, are the higher qualities that you have. And that's, really funny. It might seem like it's a paradox, but that's how it is. Often I will, in these portraits, a certain quality of this person will come through, that they are here to bring on the earth, and that they do at a soul level, and that will be the exact thing that they feel that they lack the most. And this is because, often we will choose certain, for example, in our astrology, we will choose certain patterns, so that we can address it from the beginning, like from this level, to this level, so that then we become the pioneer for it, And also because we know that we are capable, because that is our soul quality. So before we came into incarnation, we chose, that, because we knew that we wanted to pioneer that. We knew that that's the quality that we needed to anchor, the light that we needed to anchor on the planet. So we chose to go through some more challenging times with it, maybe in our early life. But the more that we, just bring it within love. And the way that we, transform this, again, always, is just to accept yourself fully for what you are in the moment. This is really important. Because, people have said stuff to me, like when I connect with them personally, like recently somebody said to me, may the Lord raise me up, like they did you. And of course, it's really nice to get these compliments, and when people see your light, it's wonderful. But the thing is that what I wanted to share was that if you are on the path of ascension and you are doing everything possible, and most of these beings that connect with me, they are, because we always feel like we're not doing enough, but really they are, whatever guidance they get, whenever they get it, then they act on it. And in the beginning we can resist maybe a little bit, but ultimately, they are called upon it, they feel that it's right, and they act on it. And just know that it's not about your efforts. It's not that your efforts are lacking. It's that sometimes we are, let's say we have a goal for ourselves, like we want to progress on our spiritual levels, on our ascension levels, light levels. But maybe we are not needed to in that moment, because maybe we are needed to be somewhere else, because that is the best place that we can serve. Because the thing is that all of these beings, these pure ones, especially, these volunteer souls, they are not from this planet, and they already have a certain level of mastery that they have mastered, because many of them are also older souls. And this process of coming into your full mastery, you've done it before. It's not something that's new to you. So it's not something that you really need to achieve in this lifetime. Rather, you come within, for service, basically. So when you come here, the main focus that is that, the universe will use you, because you're like a portal. So you will be used by the universe wherever it is most needed. So you will be placed in those places, and that doesn't only mean physical places, it also means energetically. So let's say if you hold a certain vibration, like a higher vibration, perhaps something else will be needed, and you won't be able to share space with something else. And that's why it's really important to know that if you have a certain goal for yourself, or you want to progress on your spiritual journey, but you're doing everything you can, it's not about your efforts. Just know that, all of these beings, they're already putting in efforts, and things have a way of coming in divine timing. And especially, I noticed, like with, so for example, with boys, with men who are on this path as well, because when, let's say, there's a lot more women that are out there that are embracing this now, and maybe you see them empowered in front of you, or embracing certain things that you are not able to yet. And there's a certain empowerment in that, because men naturally hold the levels of power. Power is a masculine frequency, the higher frequency, and the more physical frequency, that is the feminine, that's love. And light is masculine and love is feminine. So women are needed to be, because this hasn't been seen on the planet. We need to come into that, to come into our full power, and then to exert it out into the world. And I don't mean exert like, forcibly, but to just hold it, be comfortable in it, and to put it out there. because this is a more masculine thing. And that is what the world needs, at this time. And men, when they are embracing their more feminine side, which is love, and learning to open up to that unconditional love, and holding space for the feminine, things like this, then their own soul is humbled. It's like the ego is humbled. So you are, when you do this, like when you're holding it, and you're holding it for a long period of time, you're anchoring those frequencies on the planet. And at a soul level, you already have that power, because you're already a master. And you're already all of it. We all, that have come from these levels of mastery, the volunteer souls, many of them, you already hold a certain level of power, and there's really nothing that you need to attain, because you already are. But it's just that, there's a lot of humility that's needed in service, because we are working with the frequencies of what humanity has created on the planet so far, being a young race. So whatever we are anchoring, and the position that we are put in, and whatever frequencies we are anchoring, they have to do with service, really, and what's for the highest good, and it has nothing to do with our capability and our efforts. So I really hope to bring home this message to all of you out there, that it's about divine timing, and the Lord will raise us, so to speak, when it's the right time. And the funny thing is that you can feel it at any stage of your ascension, because the process of coming into your own and anchoring those higher levels is the state of grace, which means that wherever we find ourselves, we are fully in acceptance of it, and yeah, it's just accepting it gracefully. So you can experience that at any stage in your ascension. And I remember that when I was at a certain stage in my ascension, I really wanted to progress, and I thought that when I'm at a certain stage, things will be easier, or it'll be a certain way, and that's not how it is. To be honest, it's the same. It's exactly the same. Just like when you do let's say you begin a certain kind of work, you've just graduated from college, and then you go into a job. In the beginning, you might feel that, wow, when I'm at the senior position, things will be this way, it'll be easier, or I'll get to do this and this, whatever those ideas are. But if you speak to those people, they actually have, in senior positions, they have a lot of responsibility, and they themselves may not even see all that they've accomplished, and all they've been doing is showing up and doing the work that's needed, and that's all that they've been doing. So that's all that's needed. It feels the same way no matter what your light level. And yeah, there's some things that actually become a little bit more challenging with our increased light levels. So you see, there's two sides to everything, and it doesn't matter what our light level is. Just know that you are perfect, you are perfection, and that you are already a master, and all you need to do is just embrace the moment and your perfection within it. And this accepting our perfection, and that we are perfect, that we are loved no matter what we are choosing, no matter what is in front of us, is the process of ascension anyway, and is the process that is that allows us to glide through this step-by-step process of coming into a full mastery in the physical. So I think that's basically, those are the main things that I wanted to share with all of you today. And I'm really, feeling a lot of love for all of you out there, and just really grateful for all of the compliments and all of the beautiful, exchanges that I've had recently. And yeah, I did have some more points, but I think I should make another video for that, because otherwise this one will get too long. I want to say one very important thing is that before I stopped making my videos abruptly, even though it wasn't really that abrupt, because I did announce it on Facebook, my Facebook page. So if you're not on there and you're only on YouTube, then you wouldn't get notifications, in case I can't make videos for a while, or I'm because for whatever reason. But Facebook is a place that I will always share on the Living Our Ascension community, the Facebook page. But because I stopped making videos for a while unexpectedly. Before that, there was a sale going on the inner child work sessions that I have, which have been going really fabulously. I'm really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite services to offer, and when I interact with people, because we can really go deep. And it's not only about healing, it's also about bringing out your magical child, but a bit of both happens. And I'm seeing some really powerful results, especially because I had this sale recently and more people opted for this service. But it was on a 50% off. And since I stopped the videos, I didn't stop the discount, even though I meant to. But it's only going to be applicable now until March. So until the end of March is when you only have until the end of March to buy this service from me at a 50% discount. It's a group of 3 sessions that we do, and we really go in depth. Then the other thing that I want to announce also is that I'm raising the price for some of my services right now. The cosmic portrait and the soul portrait by about, I think it should be around $11, because the shipping from here, because now I've moved to San Francisco and the shipping prices are different, and every time that I ship something, or even the products that I need to paint and to put things together, packaging, all of it, there's a difference in the price. So now whenever I send it out, I can feel that like it feels like I'm not getting enough for the amount of effort that I put in, and which is both physical as well as the things that I have to buy for it. So that needs to be adjusted from time to time. So I hope that you understand that. But why I'm announcing it now is that again, from after March, like in April, is when I'll be raising the price for this as well. So you have until then if you want to buy it at the older price. So please check out all of these services. They are on my new website. I also have a new website. There's just been a lot that's been happening, because I've been gone so long, so I have a lot to say. But it's www.livingourascension.com. This is my new website, and the link for it will be below, and all of the services are there. Check under higher art services for these soul and cosmic portraits. So that's it from me. That's basically all that I wanted to say, and I'll hopefully see you again very soon.